If you're a creator and you set meetings a lot of the time to actually get work done, maybe you're booking client consultations, maybe free consultations, maybe paid consultations, or you're booking podcast interviews, or whatever sort of meetings you're running, one of the things that gets in the way is actually scheduling them. You're maybe in the DMs or you're emailing each other back and forth. And so there's this problem of the amount of time it takes, one, for people to reply to emails and DMs. And then two is just like figuring out the day and the week time of the meeting itself. I want to show you a quick and easy way to have others schedule meetings with you so that you don't have this big back and forth email war or DM discussion trying to figure out a day and a time and time zones and all these things. So I'm going to get right into the tool that we're talking about today, Acuity, which this video is not sponsored by Acuity. I wish it was. Acuity was actually created independently and Squarespace bought them over, I think it was last year, 2020. Acuity is the tool that I use to schedule my meetings. There are a ton of other tools available, but I want to show you right now what the capability is, basically just to get you up and running quickly and easily, and I just want to show you the process of how it actually works. So I've got the website open, and literally on the homepage it says all you need to do is show up at the right time. And I can say that after using Acuity for a number of years now, I haven't really had an issue with people showing up for their meetings. And yeah, I would say it is literally an online assistant that works 24/7 to fill your schedule. But let's get into the tool and let's figure it out. So you're going to create an account. They have a free trial. You can use the link in the description. But basically when you log in, this is my setup account. I'm on a paid version. And you'll see that I have my week open. Now this is kind of the appointment calendar. I'm not going to go into all of the setting up of your calendar and all of those things. What I'm going to do is basically show you the scheduling page link, because I think that's the most important thing. Now under the general scheduling page, you have a page that people can basically go to, and it's going to show all the calendars or all the events that you have actually set up. And so for example, I've got this 30-minute consultation, and this is eventually what it would look like. If somebody wants to book a call, they can change their time zone and they can go in and see, they can pick a time and they fill in all of this information. Now this form is actually also created inside of Acuity. You can set up these questions so that before you get to the meeting, you get a bit of context for the discussion. Acuity gives us different ways to actually use the link. So this is obviously the direct link for any booking that I have available or any event that I have available. And then you've got an embedded scheduler where you can put it on your website. You can have a button on your website as well, and you can style that with using CSS. There's a booking bar that actually shows up at the top of your website. Now for your calendar, you want to make sure that you set your availability. So for example, I have an appointment type here. And so for these meetings, this is the availability that I've basically chosen. If you want Monday to be available, you just literally type in the times that you want to be available and you copy and paste that across the day. If you want multiple days, or multiple hours in the day, let's say, now for me, I'm in Thailand, and so this is why I've set my meetings for so late. For the US time zone, it just makes sense. But if I wanted to set something up like 8 a.m. to, 11 a.m., just hypothetically, slow on the typing today. But if I wanted to set that up, then it's going to make that time available as well. And so for each line that you put in, it's going to create those slots. And then you can see it gives us kind of an overall view of what's showing up for the month. If you wanted to override for a specific day, maybe you just wanted to take Thursday the 14th of October off, you just delete that time and it won't have that availability showing. Okay, then you've also got rooms and resources. If you run a physical office, then you can actually create multiple rooms and then just have one Acuity account to manage those rooms and create calendars against those rooms. You have appointment type, and let's actually do that. So I am going to create a new type of service, and I'm going to basically just do, let's say, a test meeting. This is actually where you're going to be setting up your link to send people. You can add a longer description if you wanted to. You could put it in there. Show a message after scheduling. This is basically a thank you message. Message showing after confirmation page, which basically gives people the instructions or a thank you message or something. And then you can set your duration, whether you want it to be a 15-minute or 30-minute. and you can book off extra time before and after. I like to book off 15 minutes before my meetings and around 20 minutes after my meetings, or 15 minutes after my meetings, just so that I have a bit of a buffer. But if you want to be a productivity grease monkey, then definitely leave those blank. If you want to charge for your meetings, you'll have to connect a Stripe account, but you could definitely add a thing there. And then categories. So categories, this is where you're going to see your appointment types, and you'll be able to categorize those meetings so that you can book off those times according to that category. So each category you can have, like for example, for me, I have podcast interviews on a Friday, and so I have a specific category for those type of meetings, which actually is in the podcast here. This is the category that I'm going to put this test one in. For example, can choose a color for this particular calendar. I can add an image if I wanted to, and I can make this public or private. Public meaning it's going to be available on that link that you have, the burhan.as.me, or you want to make it private so it doesn't actually show up on that, and only when you send the link to somebody, then will they be able to create that appointment. Now I'm going to create that appointment now. If I go back to my burhan.as.me page, it's going to show this test meeting here, and it's put the category above it as well. But now you'll see this test meeting here under the podcast, which is the category I chose, and I can see that it's public because it doesn't have this private thing. And if I wanted to grab a direct link, I can use this link directly so that the link opens up my availability immediately when somebody clicks on that link, and I can customize this link. So if I wanted to call it test, then that's a clean look to the link that I have. All right. And then again, with those options, I can choose a button, I can choose an embedded schedule, I can choose a bar. And then there's also an Instagram integration. So with the Instagram integration, what you're going to do is on Instagram in the business settings, you're going to connect your Acuity calendar. And so then there'll be a booking button on your Instagram profile that if somebody wanted to book a call with you, instead of maybe having an email or a call button, it would show a book a call button. The other thing I wanted to show you just in terms of those forms is if I wanted to create a new form for that meeting that I just created. So I would select the calendar name or the appointment name here, and then I would add maybe a text box. If I wanted to, I could add a drop-down list with some options. I could choose add a yes or no depending on what I want. If I wanted their address, if I wanted them to upload a file, lots of things you could ask people to do, purely because maybe for a podcast interview you require their bio, maybe you require their profile image, bio image. All right, and then one other thing that I wanted to show you is the synchronization. Synchronize your Google Calendar, iCloud, Outlook, all of these things. And so you'd literally just connect it to the calendar that you wanted to connect. It would have the button to log into your Gmail address, choose the calendar that you wanted to, so that people can't book over other events that are happening in your calendar. It integrates with a lot of things, right? So you can send people to your MailChimp account, you can connect your Google Analytics, you can connect it to Facebook Business if you're running advertising, and then there's also conversion tracking, Pipedrive if you're using a CRM, which I am, Zoom, so that it actually has the Zoom link built in. Once you've connected your Zoom account, you're going to have to manually select which meetings you want Zoom to actually create a link inside of Acuity. And then what's going to happen is in those reminder emails that are going to be sent over to people when they schedule and also when they get reminded, the Zoom link will also be included in that email. So here under email settings, you've got initial confirmation, reminders, cancellations, rescheduling, and follow-ups, and a bunch of others if people have paid for stuff. You can customize each and every event that you have, and based on that, you can, type out what you need here. For each event type, you're going to have to go through and select the reminders. So for example, here I've got a 24-hour before the meeting, I've got a 1 hour before and a 48-hour before the meeting. So 2 days before, 1 day before, and 1 hour before, and these need to be set up individually. So if you have a template, then definitely copy and paste and customize as you go. I've also got the add to calendar, change appointment button, and the add to Google Calendar over here. The 3-level reminders help people to just make it on time. It's pretty straightforward, pretty easy to use. If you want to know more about the tool, definitely check out the website. The link is in the description. And I'm actually going to be doing a review of Calendly as well, which is a competitor to Acuity. So subscribe to the channel for that. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one.